People who are in financial distress typically don't realize that there's a problem until it's too late. Like many of life's difficult situations, early detection is the best way to avoid serious consequences.
Andy Mattingly from Forum Credit Union is here to discuss some of the warning signs. So what are the behaviors that can cause financial doom?
Well, if you're an impulse buyer, or shopper, that's really one of the behaviors. And the other one is if you regularly spend more than you make, that's another behavior that can lead you down the path.
But there's got to be some early warning signs that show you, hey, you're going to be in some trouble.
Yeah, and there are a couple of really small ones at the beginning that you don't even realize are problems. You start buying everyday things with your credit card because you don't have enough money in your checking account. So you might buy groceries one time and that cup of coffee or that one meal out that you put on your credit card and you don't pay it off. So that's kind of a first early warning sign.
So what typically happens when they use credit when somebody does that?
Well, what happens is they start building their credit and they start paying the minimum payment because that's all they can pay. Their credit grows, their minimum payment goes up, they have less money to use on a monthly basis, so they put more on the credit, and it becomes a vicious snowball type of cycle there.
These seem like things that you would catch right away. What are some of the signs of trouble that people often miss?
Well, the couple of things they miss is that they pay a couple of bills late, and they start getting that habit of paying bills late, or they have an NSF or two on their checking account, and they think it's a one-time thing, or, oh, I'm just in a bad month or 2 months, but it's really starting to build then.
So when do you know that it's getting out of control?
When it's getting out of control is when you have multiple credit cards, you're using advances from one card to pay the other card off, you start paying your bills every other month, so you're past due all the time with everything that you do. That's when you're out of control.
So someone's watching at home thinking, okay, this sounds like me. I see the signs. What should they do?
Well, the first thing they have to do is sit down and find out how much they can spend in a month without adding to their debt, and then look at the things that maybe are causing that problem. Maybe they bought too much of a car, maybe they need to look at the house they live in, maybe they need to look at some of those other things and figure out how they can get more money in their monthly budget.
So I would call those reactive steps.
Yes.
What can you do to be proactive?
To be proactive really is planning and knowledge. So before you make any decision, make sure you plan and know how much you can spend. And if you kind of live with that plan, you won't get to these problems.
For the younger audience that might be watching, what advice do you have for them?
Well, for someone that's younger, it's even when you're in high school and college, start learning these principles and start thinking, one of the things, if you're graduating right now, you have a lot of student loan debt. Well, think about that before you take the debt out. Is there another way to pay for college before debt? Because even though you've got a little bit of time and it doesn't impact you now, it will. So start thinking about all of those things early.
Ooh, scary stuff when
Not
you hear
trying
about
to be
that.
scary.
I know, but when you hear about the snowball building up,
Yes.
you're like, you can see how easily it could happen.
Yes.
Where can people find you, Andy?
At forumcu.com.
All right, Andy Mattingly, thank you so much.
Thank you.